Yeah. Time for us to get started. Enough of the funny stuff, funny business. Enough of that. What I'm going to be doing here is I'll be doing a double-blind ghost box session, and I'm going to be using earbuds, and I'll be repeating what I'm hearing from the ghost box. And this is how the man who walks in place does it. Now, this is just a technique, and I urge others to go ahead and do this, to try this, because in my previous video, they asked me to ask you to make contact with them. So, without further ado, here we go. Let's get going. Alright. Time for arrival. For another 20. Okay. I agree with him that these spirits have been growing since September 11. They've been a conservative. And there's so much to say. But Eric Johnson, he's a classic Christian, and he's got the prophet, but the interior in the CIA is especially steady. Now, this can be that the time will come when you broadcast these things and it will become a science. You have to know how to treat these spirits, these astronauts, and the astronauts need to know how to treat self. September 11th, the sun that you've obtained through the Boy Scout, they aren't so These guys are still reflecting on Dr. Joel. The only problem is, let me lay it out. Your spirits are part married. I'm actually listening. It's about time you got to the chapel. That saves us. The Lord, when faith will be doing it, some nights the Boy Scouts and the modern interceptors are checking on the sounds in our genetics, in the faith. The time will come when you will reflect. Whether you like it or not, you'll be helping them through this things. Yesterday, good Lord, the landlord is ushering in the light. It's okay. I realize that in here, to say that it's called the ancient takeaways of the science in this vaccine. From the person in these thousands, and the assistance and the origin of the things that put us in prison can cause this movement today. You could fracture it in this public broadcast. if you listen to these, it'll be a change of God in you. And how you eat makes a difference in your vitamins in the body. In this magazine, it's a woman trying to make it in a man's world is turning into a man trying to make it in the world. And he's trying his best to say these things on his thoughts. And it counts the signal. And if you ask to these things, they will advance full time. Sometimes I think about things and they're ultimately advancing us. Well, I wonder if this is a natural immunity in the issues in this conversation. It could be so difficult for Bush to show you that you're going through this, but if I'm laid back and be in the Irish collection and join in this, it's difficult. Affirmative. Have you? It's like if you've ever broadcast on the screen, watching yourself will receive what is advanced. Take your time. It's not about the paper money, not for what we're doing. Yeah, it's true. You prophesy through God normally, but you need to learn Latin for these others' thoughts and the words. And Jeff, he will clip on the geographical world, and they are constantly growing, and the doctor in here is serving us in our genetics today. Chris is doing this today. They are, in a sense, a year in to the classic Christian. In your body, we could stand from what you're putting on, and if you find these things that used to be the old goat, like a street of self is the main difference. You're connected. Hey, Chris, these astronauts, they know that as science continues, that Jeff will be in the center of the religious thought. You're going to take it for us like changing things into 2D. It's mental, and there's this thing called I understand my identity in these people, and the requirement is in this path. Good daddy, $2 for my information. We have the most circle of sovereignty in the body, and we treat it like a temple. We do. We focus on these astronauts. You're connected. Okay. He's being forthcoming about his peanuts. Jeff's in the center. I agree. Just a minute. Don't lie. Yep, he's got his radar. We're checking this information, and it's like being spooked under a lie. In the first place, the intestines, And there's this thing called the Christian identity, and it's in all these books that people have made, and there's still people who stand. 60% of people have changed and to make these decisions. Whatever you have faith, and don't be sarcastic about it, and don't use these lunatics. They're all in this. I could serve peanuts. One. Okay, this is boring. You're getting tired of this stuff, huh? We might start doing some kind of other types of experiments. And it's all classic crap. In the self, there's like a CIA, honestly. There's a change in here, and there's a lot of decisions. I'm Jeffrey, and with these looks that you've got, there's a decision that wherever home is, it solves everything in time. From the center, it looks like faith from the doctor. He's a conservative, and Jeff will be busy changing a lot of these things, and that's what happened in the first place with these guys. Man, more than you know. There's more than a Christian here. He calls you. Everything's on sale again. Still, you're gonna check these plants today. The night hereafter, the old goat. Actually, I'm just kidding. Formerly, the intestines were torturing what they wanted, like food and the science. You caught my attention. I've dropped the forthcoming ancient operations. You're connected. Don't lie. It fractures the servant. He takes these advantages, and they're very, very. They thought in hours. Just a minute. I thought you test them. You take the risks, and it's awkward. James Count. Who is this man? Why is he so important? God would make man like him, and he's indicted. And what does Mars chance? He strikes his wealth and in the new Savior. And September 11th, we were blessed. And you are being forthcoming. In the top hour, I'll agree with him about this. You must be able to sign in to this thesis. And it's the origin of Jeff. Now, sometimes it's best if humanity would enter into the mix and take the risk in these people, and it'll be a change of God in you. It's active, and when you eat, of course it's a habit, but you love them. The Lord has said these vandals have no chance because you're Superman. Chris, I love the room. I love the points here. That's right. I seen that. It's so sensuous. Wow, I wish I could see this. What you're seeing. There's a thing on his thoughts there, and it's something that it reports back on the information, and that's what he's after. And this week's still old. There we go. You asked us today if if we've lost our asylum seeker messages, and we like to visit, we like to pray in this, because we received God in this, and it can be a change in actually being Superman. You just put your lights out. The lens, the Zeiss lens, the word is a high risk. The house is life. To this particular chance, the status quo, affirmative, it comes to us, this information is broadcast, the demons will advance full time, and the hours will attempt to invest in these asylum seekers. Since they weaponized the lies, the Savior has been a topical issue. Our faith in the brain advanced to say that the weapon is left behind. And I'll show you what's up. How David made the time to take 1,000 high risks with his speaker, and the words that were most powerful, they increased God in his cherubim, and there's a lot to obtain at full time. He is not into the beer drinking, and you're a farmer. Ultimately, we would say yesterday, don't lie, he got killed. Well, it's a topical calling, dude. Be part of the conversation. It's in the brain. Have faith in this. She's trying. He's trying to show you he isn't criminal anymore. He's laid back, and he's taking these high risks. The speaker being in the Irish collection, technology is plainly instructing the words from humanity, and there's a terrible chance that the time will come to obtain the Bedouin thought. They've been lost. His identity is, get a grip. It's certainly not part of the variation. Well, I've tested them all through, and they're all starting to pop in on these topical issues, especially when they aren't so well. You need more vitamins, and use faith to catch the Oliver North in us, so he will produce the vaccine that in the technology that causes ISIS to form. The words in this system obtain the Boy Scout in the Bedouin through your thoughts. This is topically not part of our identity, and it's lost. The requirements are seriously not with the watches. Pray about this. And this two-way conversation today in the brain, they aren't so with what it's pushed. I'll show you. The messages in faith are coming from points of God that are higher up in this vaccine. Like the same people that are in the Irish collection will be able to do this. They'll be able to join in. It reports back to us about the terrible situation, and the words that are just brought in, they are not part of his identity. They are the requirements that are in the vocal counter, the vocal action. It switches. Don't put it online. What topical issue that is in the brain? They look at it and they see it, and these vandals push what they like to show you. And this is good for some people to see this point. They can be laid back. These guys, thumbs up, and it's easy to say that this technology is worth the stand. And the reports have been coming back with terrible information that your faith will cause your thoughts in this geographical identity. Today, there are requirements for people to tune in. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that these idiots. I tell you what, man. What? It's a topical issue. Let's bulletproof this. He's laughing. These things, they can't make idiots. Dude, dude. How can you stand that? You're so lost. Oh no, come on, guys. He's professional. Whoops. I admit it. It strikes the technology. This is Chris is all. You will all see that the Clintons are, to just name a few, are faithless. They haven't even taken their time. Blind as hell. These people, they're a variation of tuned idiots. The whole thing is a topical issue, and it's a two-way conversation in the brain. They aren't so into plain view. These guys are idiots. Let's see. They need to be laid back and not communist. They need to be professional. These guys are professionals, and they're psychopaths, and they produce things that are in our grocery store, and we're eating this stuff, and it'll just continue. It'll just keep continuing, and it's not what's helping us to be in tune. It's a big day. I'm going to need every piece of inspiration here. In these plants, September 11th, that you've been worshiping, and the topical goat. Shall I resume? Formerly, I would love you to, idiot. I'm trying to. Jeff's trying to show you something. If you look into your vitamins, and look, he's losing it. Oh my God. What do you got, guys? The 25 minutes here. We take the risks. Now, these dead doctors, they're still talking about the risks we're taking buying the food from the grocery store. Dang. Yep, the more I hear this, the more worried I become about it. I mean, like, what can I do? I'm just one guy, and I'm not famous, I'm not rich. I can pray, and I can spread this information that the spirits are talking to other spirits, and it's coming over the broadcast and the conversation. I tell you that, man. It's freaky, man. Yes, you may. Out of the top, engines failed. Well, I'll show you. If you try and talk to them, and you will be the speaker, and they will disprove us, and you will take the risk, and these vitamins, and there's never been enough in modern man since Washington, it's been more than enough. He's lying. He's advanced. Dr. Joel has planted powerful medicines in the spokesman. And these topical issues, we try to have conversations. And that he could. Where would you like? Dang it. He dropped out. I was trying to show you, in us, there's an event that will be used because we're connected. There's life being drained in us from that. Just a minute. Did he stop? You're going to take the risk in the government. You may see the day that you can charge your paper money, whether Paul was part of this guillotine. He died it. These drug-induced words in the brain are not well. Since September 11th, these lunatics have been in the headlines, and the less 20 in Houston don't know how to treat in faith. What? Houston? I've convinced my mind that there's no, I don't have $2 to pay you for your information. Chris, what's up? All right, what do you got? Hey, I survived by myself. That's awkward. This act. I would like to drive to the local Sonic and induce my brain with their food. Formerly, this person was a lunatic, but they left. And on the touch, the things you're drinking, and they're all when technology serves self. You know, he used to say he is like salmonella. We think he'll be poisoned and lost. And it's right where his money went. It's like the tool of the day. It strikes awkward poses. Well, guys, what do you think? Well, we obtained the Superman when you got married to us one night, and those foolish astronauts, they realized that instead of taking a number, these things came through in a dream. And it's like when technology can serve the conservative, then the measure will be today. You salmonella effort. It's poison. Don't watch where you spend your money at. He lost it today himself. Hundreds. Paulus, the CIA, particularly lying. I'm not going to call this priest out. Jeffrey's inducing the brain. So, his ghosts, he was the ghost one night, and you fractured him with the headlines. Alright, that's 31 minutes there. I'm going to cut it, guys. Oh, we'll see. This is Eric Johnson with Cicada Paranormal, and this is the Man Who Walks in Place series. And I hope something good came out of this. And if not, then I'm going to stop making these if they stop being productive. But we'll see how it goes. I'm usually not disappointed after I review, and I don't even know what I'm talking about because I can't really understand what I'm saying as I'm making the video. It's just kind of flighty. It's hard to put everything in context because I'm too busy listening to what I'm hearing and just repeating it. So I kind of put a blank mind on, and I'm not keeping things in context. So it's really cool when I go back and actually be impressed about the videos I'm making. So, well, that's it. We'll talk to you later. Hopefully this came out okay. And if you like it, hit the thumbs up on it. And if you're really into this stuff and you really liked it, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing not only this, but I have other videos too that I make, and every now and then I put them out. But on the side of trying to stay busy with work and focus on life, and then do this at the same time, I don't get to spend much time on it. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.